It's amazing how our people, as I showed you in that Bible, that's from 1609. They drew their pictures in the Bible, so-called white people, and say they the Most High, say they the Mashiach Yahushua, they the children of Israel. And to this day, because Jewish people saying that they the people of the book. They can't prove it. Not before us. According to what the Bible says. You see? But our people believe it. They believe that the Most High is a so-called white man, an Edomite. Mashiach Yahushua, the picture that they drew of him, they believe that he's a so-called white man, which is a lie. We're reading about it right now. In Wisdom of Solomon, 14th chapter. Let's start at verse 12 again. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication. You hear that? Spiritual fornication, going against the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, dealing with idolatry. Remember, Psalms 96 and 5 says, for all the gods of the nations are idols, and the invention of them, the invention of these idols, the corruption of life. You hear that? Corruption of life. To make your life corrupted. This is what it's saying. For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. Because in the beginning, everybody obeyed the Most High until Adam's sin. For by the vainglory of men, they entered into the world. And therefore shall they come shortly to an end, as we're going to see, hopefully, in our time. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he had made an image of his child, soon taken away, because it's talking about Caesar Borgia, who died before his father, Pope Alexander VI of Rome, Rodrigo Borgia. So he made an image of his son, who had died before him, as being Pope Alexander VI of Rome. Rodrigo Borgia now honored him as a god, you see, unto this day. They still have his picture on Trinity Broadcasting Network, the so-called white man, as representing Hamashiach Yahushua, who they call Jesus Christ, which was then a dead man, see, he had died, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices. Thus, in process of time, an unrighteous custom grown strong was kept as a law, and graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings. You see, graven images were worshipped from the decree of the kings of the earth, saying this is what you're supposed to do. And wicked Israelites followed it, because 2/3 of our people are no good, whom men could not honor in presence, because they wasn't there, because they dwelt far off, because they lived in other lands, far away from where he did this at. They took the counterfeit of his visage from far. Like you have many artists that have drawn the picture of Caesar Borgia. But this new Caesar Borgia that they call, and a lot of people looking at, is from Warner Salmon. It's not going back to 1492. But this is lately, this man that made millions off that drawing of that picture of Jesus Christ, Warner Salmon. That's one of the picture that a lot of y'all are using. I think I have it. This one here. He drew this. This lot. Warner Salmon. To this day. So they made an image of, in honoring Pope Alexander VI of Rome, Rodrigo Borgia's son who died before him, from far, and made an express image of a king whom they honored, to the end that by this their forwardness they might flatter him that was absent, as if he were present. They may flatter Pope Alexander VI of Rome, Rodrigo Borgia, as he was in their presence. Are they honoring my son? Also, the singular diligence of the artificer did help to set forward the ignorance to more superstitious. Why, I'm telling you, I've taken this picture all over the world of places that I've been in America and outside of America and said, show me what you see in this picture. And nobody points out there's only 5 people in this picture, the Borgia family. If you don't know, you can look at a show that they have on Showtime called the Borgias. And they call them what? These people here, the first crime family. 5 people in that picture. Why ain't nobody recognize them? Because of the sorceries that they deceive all nations, because of the witchcrafts that they have brought upon this earth to deceive all nations. It's real, y'all. That's why Wisdom of Solomon 15:4. But neither did the mischievous invention of men deceive us, nor an image spotted with diverse colors. See? An image spotted with diverse colors. It didn't deceive us. The painter's fruitless labor, the sight wherein entices fools to lust after it. And so they desire a form, of a dead image that hath no breath. Both they that make them, they that desire them, and they that worship them are lovers of evil things and are worthy to have such things to trust upon. See? Thus say the Most High. Word. That's a lie. That's been told, and our people follow it to the T. Going back to Isaiah 47. Most High said, verse 9. Let's read verse 8 again. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasure, that dwelleth carelessly, that saith in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Okay? Let's see what they say. Let's see what the Mashiach Shah said. They asked him, who you think you are? You know how we are. Who you think you are? Go to St. John 8:53. It says, art thou greater than our father Abraham? So you think, who you think you are? You greater than our father Abraham, which is dead? Whom makest thou thyself? Who you think you are? That's what they saying. Who you think you are? Who you think you are? So he told him who he was. In verse 58. Now see if y'all can put this all together. For what I've showed you in the Bible, showed you pictures. The Mashiach said to them, verily, verily, truly, truly, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am. Uh-oh. Now what y'all got to say? He said, before Abraham was, I am. That's spiritual. That's something that's been hidden as a mystery of the Most High from the beginning of the world. Because a lot of y'all identify I am with the Most High. He said, before Abraham was, I am. He said, I am that I am. Tell him that I am have sent you, because we are Mashiachim. We ain't just become Mashiach because Paul said it in 1 Corinthians 3:23. And Mashiach is the Most High. He said, ain't nobody ever seen the Most High, the only begotten Son who's in the bosom of the Father. He have declared him. But you don't see him as an angel of the Most High. Most High said in Ephesians 3:9, the mystery that's been hidden in the Most High, who created all things by Mashiach Yahushua as the angel of the Most High, the Spirit of the Most High. That we read about in Genesis 1:1 and Genesis 1:2 and Genesis 1:26. Let us go down and make man in our image and our likeness. That's the Most High of Mashiach Yahushua as an angel of the Most High, the Spirit of the Most High. Same one that came to Moses, that identified himself first in Exodus 3:14. because he didn't leave when the presence of Moses, and Moses told the elders that I am have sent you. Find that. He said, go tell them that the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, the Most High said in verse 50, this is my name forever and memorial to all generations. That's what we told the elders who came to see us and heard our mournings, our cries, to deliver us from the captivity of the Egyptians. Point blank. But he said he come in the volume of the book is written of him. But if you don't see him, he said, my shepherd said unto him, verily, verily, truly, truly, I say unto you, before Abraham was even thought of, I am. Then took they up stones to cast at him. But the Master hid himself and went out of the temple, going through the midst of them, and so passed by. See? So these are the things that we're looking at. You cannot deny they've done. They've done. The wicked Israelites still, until this day, do not accept him. It's going to be gnashing of teeth, wailing and gnashing of teeth. It's going back to Isaiah 47th chapter. Speaking of the virgin daughter of Babylon, because America ain't been touched, he said what? Isaiah 47:8. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given the pleasures, that dwelleth carelessly, that saith in thine heart, saying in their mind, I am, and none else beside me. I mean, I showed you the pictures. I shall not sit a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Boasting. Who's going to bring me down? That's what they say. That's what they saying. That's what they saying. They're boasting. They think, hey, Most High done allowed them to roll with Shaitan. And they think, hey, nobody going to be able to bring us down. Look at Obadiah. The Most High gave us, through the prophet Obadiah, 21 verses pertaining to the Edomites. Obadiah 1, it said, the vision of Obadiah. Thus say the Most High power concerning Edom, right? So it's talking about the so-called white man and the nation, who forefathers Esau, who became a nation, called themselves the Edomites, which means red nation. Let's read what it says in verse 3. The pride of thine heart, the pride of thy mind have deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rock. Who's the caveman? Clefts of the rock, in the mountains. He gave them mountain seer, whose habitation is high. Who build high rise apartment buildings, high, way up in the sky, office buildings and so forth. They do. Whose habitation is high. Listen what it says. That saith in his heart, said in his mind, who shall bring me down to the ground? Who gonna bring me down? Though that exalt thyself as the eagle, straight up. Then you know what it's talking about. What's the symbol of America? The bald eagle. On the post office, on their dollar bill, everything. The bald eagle. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, you got the space station out there in the sky. Thence will I bring thee down, said the Most High. See? So, it coincides with all the prophets that prophesy against the end times. You can't get around it. That's why they don't deal with prophecies, these pork-chop eating preachers going into this Old Testament to bring forth what it is that's written without any shame or any conviction of being scared to bring forth the truth and representing the Most High, who's a man of war. Most High is his name. This is what he say. Isaiah 47:8. Therefore hear thou this, thou that art given the pleasures, that dwelleth carelessly, that saith in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in a day, in one day. the loss of children, and widowhood. I mean, they're going to kill the children, they're going to kill the men. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries. See that? Not only they deal with sorceries, but behind the multitude, the plentifulness of their witchcrafts, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. This is what they're dealing with. They got palm readers, psychics, you name it. Witches, wizards, enchanters, you name it. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Who else is that you could say that have taken the Bible and put their images in more so than the so-called white man? If you go back and they got a so-called black inheritance Bible, it just came out. But you go back from the beginning of time to now, I just showed you. They've been doing this. Putting their pictures as representing the Most High. Look at the TV. Show me where you see a Japanese picture where they represent the Most High and they represent the Mashiach Yahushua and all the children of Israel. Chinese, Arabs, so name them. That Bible showed Africans, you can't be Shem and Ham. You gotta, that Bible is off too. The one that showed so-called African Americans as the people of the book. Because you got Shem/Ham. You can't be that. Either we Shemitic, the true Shem, Shemitic. You see, not Semitic, but Shemitic. If you want to deal with our forefather is Shem. You see, we had Shem, Ham, and Japheth of Noah's son. We are from Shem. But thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me, nobody see me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge that have perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, said in my I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it rises, and mischief shall fall upon thee, that thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation, destroying all their land, shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. It's coming like a thief in the night. They ain't gonna know what's happening. He say, most likely gonna clown them. Now he say, stand now with thine enchantments and with that multitude of thy sorceries. Hear that? He said it over again. Remember he said in verse 9, multitude in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries, for the great abundance of thine enchantments. In abundance. That's what they're doing behind closed doors. He says, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, verse 12, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, to stop this judgment that the Most High bringing upon her. If so be thou mayest prevail over the judgment that the Most High said he's going to bring forth. Thou art reared in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, this is what they deal with, astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators, stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. To let all these idols, worshiping entities that you believe in, stand up and save you, he's saying. Behold, they shall be as stubble. Hear that? He said they shall be as stubble. That's dried up weeds. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a cold or warm at, nor fire to sit before it. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every one to his quarter. None shall save thee. You gonna watch them. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna look for them. But this go right along with I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but this goes right along with Revelation 18th chapter. Sorry, by the time you get to Revelation, you're supposed to be knowing what's written in the Old Testament and the Gospels, whatever, to be able to make that make sense. Where a lot of people, they say the New Testament tampered with this, that, and the third. Well, some things are tampered with, but the majority of it is not. You understand this? Because the Most High have his hand in to say, okay, you got to deal with this with understanding. This is what it says. Revelation 18:1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, this is America, is the great is fallen. It's fallen. And it's become the habitation of devils and the hold of every foul spirit. You name it, it's right here in America. And the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Remember spiritual fornication we read about in Wisdom of Solomon 14? And how they set up, their idol. Until this day, I just showed you. Until this day. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. The spiritual fornication, going against the Most High with their idolatry. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy. See, that's why he told us he heard another voice from heaven saying to us, we the children of Israel, come out of her, my people. Come out of the thinking, the sight of what you see here that they present to you to keep you from studying this Bible, to learn the word of the Most High, to be closer to him, to know what pleases him. And not just please yourself in pride. That's why he say, come out of her, my people. Learn this law, statute, commandments. What pleases him. What we did that our ancestors showed us, and I'm showing it over and over again, what they did to please the Most High was marvelous before the Most High. To come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Most High plague in this place, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High remembered her iniquities. See that? The Most High remembering her. So you go through this chapter and you go through Isaiah the 47th chapter, you see they go coincide together. Look at Ezekiel 21. Ezekiel 21. And let's look at 21. Let's look at verse 21. For the king of Babylon stood at the party of the way, at the head of the two ways, to use divination. Hear that? Because that's all they got is idolatry. He made his arrows bright. He consulted with images. He looked in the liver. At his right hand was the divination for Jerusalem. The witchcraft, the sorceries for Jerusalem, the spells you can put on Jerusalem. We as the children of Israel to appoint captains, to open the mouth in the slaughter, to lift up the voice with shouting, to appoint battering rams against the gates, to cast a mount and to build a fort, and it shall be unto them as a false divination in their sight, to them that have sworn oaths. But he will call to remembrance the iniquity, that they may be taken. He's going to call to remembrance our sins that we have done against the Most High, that we may be taken. Therefore, thus say the Most High power, because ye have made your iniquity to be remembered, in that your transgressions, you breaking the laws of the Most High, are discovered, so that in all your doings, your sins do appear before the Most High, because I say that ye are come to remembrance, ye shall be taken with the land. Took us off our land of Israel and put us in captivity over and over again. And thou, profane, wicked prince of Israel, profane, wicked prince of Israel. Profane means what? Most high less. Defiled, polluted. Wicked prince of Israel, whose day is come, when iniquity shall have an end. Thus say the Most High power, remove the diadem, remove the power that I've given you as priests, and take off the crown. So we had crowns on our heads. This shall not be the same. Exalt him that is low, that is have a humble spirit, and abase him that is high. Bring him down. Talk about Soceries. He that exalt himself shall be abased, gonna be brought down. But he that humble himself shall be exalted. That's what he's saying here. Exalt him that is low, that is humble, and base him that is high. All you that's high-minded and prideful, he gonna bring you down, as it is written. Can't get no clearer than that. Daniel's 2, Daniel's second chapter, dealing with image that Nebuchadnezzar is seen of a statue. Of a man. Let's look at Daniel's second chapter. And in the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, we in captivity as the Israelites, dreamed dreams, wherewith his spirit was troubled, and his sleep brake from him. So he had this dream. He was dreaming dreams, and his spirit brake from him. Verse 2. Then the king commanded to call the magicians. See? And the astrologers, see, and the sorcerers, see. Remember, for all the gods and the nations are idols. This is what they're dealing with: musicians and astrologers and sorcerers, and the Chaldeans, for to show the king his dreams. So they came and stood before the king. And the king said unto them, I have dreamed a dream, and my spirit was troubled to know the dream. He said, I dreamed a dream, but my spirit is troubled to know what I was dreaming about. And said the Chaldeans to the king in Syria, O king, live forever. Tell thy servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation. Tell us the dream, and we'll tell you what the dream means. The king answered and said unto them, to the Chaldeans, the thing is gone from me. I don't remember my dream. If you would not make known unto me the dream with the interpretation thereof, you shall be cut in pieces. I'm going to cut you in pieces. And your houses shall be made a dunghill. I'll make your house a toilet. If you don't tell me the dream, I don't remember the dream. Tell me the dream. But if you show the dream and the interpretation thereof, you shall receive of me gifts and rewards and great honor. Therefore, show me the dream and the interpretation thereof, and what it means. Show me the dream and what it means. They answered again and said, let the king tell his servants the dream. We will show the interpretation of it. Say, tell us the dream. We'll tell you what the dream means. That's the interpretation of the dream. The king answered and said, I know of certainly that you would gain the time, because ye see thing is gone from me. So you better take the time to understand what I'm telling you. I don't know what the dream was about. You gotta tell me the dream that I dreamed and what the dream means. But I don't know what the dream was. That's crazy, right? But that's what he's bringing forth to his musicians and his astrologers and his sorcerers, the ones that are dealing with witchcrafts and so forth. So let's look at verse 11. It says, it is a rare thing that the king require, and there is none other that can show it before the king except the gods, whose dwelling is not with flesh. For this cause the king was angry and very furious, and commanded to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. Get rid of all of them, kill them all. And the decree went forth that the wise men should be slain, and they sought Daniel and his fellows to be slain. Then Daniel answered with counsel and wisdom to Arioch, the captain of the king's guard, which was gone forth to slay the wise men of Babylon. He answered and said to Arioch, the king's captain, why is the decree so hasty? Why are they doing it so fast from the king? Why you want to kill him so fast? Then Arioch made the thing known to Daniel. Then Daniel went in and desired of the king that he would give him time. Just give me some time, and that he would show the king the interpretation. See, I'll show the king the interpretation. Just give me some time, man. Let me go to the Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because he's talking about killing them too. Daniel and his three partners. You know? So I'm going to kill all of them. Kill everybody. So Daniel went to the Most High. And the Most High revealed to Daniel what it is that the king had dreamed. Let's jump up to verse 27. See, Daniel answered in the presence of the king and said, after he done went to the Most High, prayed to the Most High, and said, the secret which the king have demanded cannot the wise men. He say, the secret that you commanded, what he dreamed, without telling the dream, and one of the interpretations of the dream, he said, can't your wise men, the astrologers, the musicians, the soothsayers, show unto thee, show unto you, the king? He cutting them. This we believe in, the wise men, the astrologers, the musicians, the soothsayers, the sorcerers, and so forth, show unto the king the dream and the interpretation of the dream. But there is a power, the Most High power in heaven, that revealeth secrets and make it known. Because remember, the eyes of the Most High are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and even the secret parts. And he speaketh in dreams and visions. But there is a power in heaven that revealeth secrets and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. That's why you look at the book of Amos. The Most High said he see of all the secret parts, right? So just what he does, once he see the secret parts, one way or another, he gonna reveal them in this way. Amos, the 3rd chapter, and the 7th verse. Surely the Most High will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, who are the 12 tribes of Israel, the prophets. See? So all you don't see me, people? The Most High know you. And he revealeth his secrets to his servants, the prophets. Now, that's why Daniel, as a prophet, was told the secret dream that Nebuchadnezzar had forgot about, but he wanted the interpretation of the dream that he couldn't even tell nobody what he dreamed. But the Most High, ain't nothing impossible with the Most High. You've seen it right here. But there is a power in heaven, verse 28 of Daniel, the 2nd chapter, that revealeth secrets. And revealeth secrets to his servants, the prophets. Servants are the 12 tribes of Israel. And maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. Hear that? In the last days. Thy dream and the vision of thy head upon thy bed are these. As for thee, O king, the thoughts came into thy mind upon thy bed, what should come to pass hereafter. And he that revealeth secrets maketh known to thee what shall come to pass. So the Most High showed him what's going to happen in this world in the future. Right? So, but you see, the soothsayers, the musicians, the astrologers, the wise men, and those that he depend on in his kingdom couldn't tell it. That's why the Most High told Esau, stand with thy soothsayers and astrologers and nosticators and astrologers, all these things that they believe in, the sorceries, and so the sorcerers and the witches and the wizards and all the things that they believe in besides him, and see if they can stop the things that are going to happen to them. We couldn't. That's why we went to captivity after captivity after captivity after captivity. You see? So now he gives the interpretation of the dream, which is he's seen a statue of a man, and the head is of gold. Let's see, verse 32, it says, verse 31, thou, O king, saw it, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. This image head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. So this is talking about this head of fine gold is Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom, which is the Babylonian kingdom. His breast and his arms of silver, representing the Persian Media Empire that took down the Babylonian Empire. His belly and his thighs as brass, representing the Greek Empire. His legs of iron, representing the Roman Empire. His feet part of iron and a pot of clay, representing the kingdom that we in now, America. You know, the military is strong, but they part of clay. They got all these different things that's contrary to the Most High that makes it not mix together, not be together. You see, that's what it's talking about. So he gave him the interpretation, as I'm telling you there, without having to read it all. You can read it for yourself. But that's the interpretation. We're in the latter end of the Greco-Roman Empire in these last days, as it is written. So look at Daniel 7 and 15. We in captivity as the Israelites, mainly Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and all those that were hanging out with us, or the other tribes. Because, you know, some tribes, they came down and they hung out with Judah, Benjamin, Levi. They didn't want to deal with the northern tribes. So we had a lot of tribes that, you know, that was with us. You see them in the New Testament. When Messiah Shai came into earth, they were down with us. Daniel 7th chapter. Let's look at verse 15. It says, I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me and made me know the interpretation of the king of the things. These great peace which are four kings which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. So you look at the kingdoms that's coming on this earth to rule. We're the last end of the Roman Greco era or empire under the Edomites. That's why it says in 2 Ezra 6 and 9, which is important to us, it says, for Esau, the so-called white man, is the end of the world, meaning the so-called white man that to ruling during the end of the world. It says, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Jacob is the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. It's the beginning of the kingdom of the Most High that it's talking about right here. Remember it said, but the saints who are the children of Israel, Psalms 148:14 defines that, of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and even forever and ever. You know, it's the last time that we got to deal with being in captivity. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and its nails of brass, which devoured, breaking pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. And of the 10 horns, which is the EEC, the European Economic Community, or NATO, or the European Community, that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom they 3 fell, the French, the Spanish, and Britain, even of that horn, even of that power, that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows, I beheld in the same horn, same power, made war with the saints, and rebelled against them. They rebelled against us, because we the saints. And Edomites put us in captivity, slave, and bondage, until the Ancient of Days came. The Most High gonna come. Ain't nobody more ancient than the Most High. Until the Ancient of Days came and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. We got next forever. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth. It's America. And what we see it now, the Edomites ruling the world, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth. Hear that? That's what he did, devour the whole earth. The whole earth is defiled and the inhabitants thereof, of what they've done. And shall tread it down and break it in pieces. That's why most I call him the big waster. And the 10 horns out of his kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise. and another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. Like I said, the Spanish War, the French War, and the War of Independence. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. Don't he? I mean, he says he's the Most High. You can't get no deeper than this. Come on. If you don't see that, I just showed you in the Bible. You can look at Bibles. He gonna speak great words against the Most High. He say he's the Most High. So if he say he's the Most High, what is it he won't do? If thou can say, y'all don't think he tampered with the Bible when he know that he's not promised any mercy from the Most High? And he shall speak great words against the Most High. He ain't with the Most High. Remember Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7? In the Apocrypha, it says, we rid ourselves of the way of wickedness when righteousness is coming on the earth. The Bible tells you what's the past, the present, and the future. What they going to say? We rid ourselves of the way of wickedness. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7. We have gone through deserts where there lay no way. Myself shall say he the way. As for the way of the Most High, my Shekel Shai, we have not known it. Straight up. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. They're going to blaspheme the name of the Most High. Y'all talk about global warming. Y'all better understand. Bill Gates talking about putting some dust in the air to block the sun out because the Most High going to scorch them. He going to scorch people with the sun. When you read Revelation 16 chapter, they're going to blaspheme the name of the Most High as it is written. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. He going to blaspheme the word of the Most High. He ain't repenting. And shall wear out the saints of the Most High. Say, we're going to be wore out. That's why my Shekel Shai said it's going to be great tribulation, y'all. Like has never been in the earth before. And think to change times and laws. See? Think to change what? Times and laws. To tell you ain't even got to follow the laws of the Most High. And they shall be given into his hand unto a time and times and a divided of time. You know, a time 100 years. In times 200 years. And divided of time 350 years. When we started to wake up and start to learn this truth. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. His kingdom's going to be destroyed, going to be consumed with the fire of the wrath of the Most High. And the kingdom and the dominion and the greatest of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. Future prophecy, y'all. The people of the saints of the Most High, who are the 12 tribes of Israel. Psalms 148:14. Whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom. I mean, it's going to last forever, y'all. That's why it's worth you trying to learn it, live it, and apply this truth in your life every day, being an Israelite. And not being some other Gentile type of nation that are not of the 12 tribes of Israel. Show yourself forth as an Israelite. He says, and the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom. This is it. Once we as the children of Israel receive our kingdom, it's going to last forever and ever and ever. That's why he said, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Hitherto is the end of the matter. It's the end of it. We got next forever and ever and ever, y'all. That's why it's worth it. To look at these scriptures and go into it and bring forth your change before the Most High make the ultimate change.
As joined.
It's gonna be beautiful. Let's look at Acts the 13th chapter, and let's start at verse 6. Acts 13 and 6. It said, and when they had gone through, because we're dealing with sorceries and witchcrafts. It says, Acts 13 and 6, it said, and when they had gone through the isles unto Paphos, they found a certain sorcerer, you see, a false prophet, a Jew, whose name was Bar Jesus. Bar Jesus. Bar Jesus, right? Which was with the deputy of the country, Sergius Paulus, a putrid man, who called for Barnabas and Saul. He called, Barnabas and Saul was rolling together. And desired to hear the word of the Most High. He called them and said, I want to hear the word of the Most High. But Elymas, the sorcerer, for so his name by interpretation, without them, seeking to turn away the deputy from the faith, trying to turn him away from the faith. Then Saul, whose name changed to Paul, who also is called Paul, see, same introduce, one that wrote most of the New Testament. Then Saul, who also is called Paul, filled with the Holy Spirit, set his eyes on him. He set his eyes on him. You're going to try and turn him away from the faith. He set his eyes on him and said what? And said, O full of all subtlety and all mischief, thou child of the devil. So when you deal with all these things, you're the child of the devil. Thou enemy of all righteousness. You know what righteousness is? The keeping of the laws of the Most High. The same thing you poach our preachers saying that we not under. Deuteronomy 6, hold that. Deuteronomy 6:25. I got to keep putting it to your face until you realize your error and repent and change. It shall be our righteousness. We're here to show you what righteousness is, because the Most High said in Psalms 119, 142, thy righteousness shall be an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. Listen, what's righteousness? Deuteronomy 6:25, defining what righteousness is. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Most High. Who is he? Our power. The power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob been the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, as he hath commanded us. So to be righteous, you got to keep the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Going back to this sorcerer that Paul's dealing with, named Elymas, the sorcerer. In Acts 13 and 10, what he says, and said, O full of all subtlety and all mischief, thou child of the devil, thou enemy of all righteousness. Like you poach out people preaching, you're the enemy of all righteousness, telling people that they ain't under the law, but they under mercy and grace. They under grace, we under grace. Grace is getting something you don't deserve. And your Gentiles, ain't no Gentiles giving no mercy. Ain't no Gentiles giving no mercy and grace. It came only to the Israelites. That's why he said, and said unto this sorcerer. So y'all dealing with witchcrafts and sorcery, and multitude of sorceries and multitude of witchcrafts and spells that you got on the people. Y'all better come out of it. You better hear what the word of the Most High is saying. And said, O full of all subtlety and all mischief, thou child of the devil, thou enemy of all righteousness, wilt thou not cease to pervert the right ways of the Most High? Will you not cease to pervert the right ways of the Most High by teaching our people that they are the Israelites? Teaching our people that the Most High is their power. The Most High is the power of Abraham, who had a son named Isaac, who had a son named Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, who became the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. Point blank. We ain't no Gentiles to prove it. I heard Pastor Jenny talk about, we can't be the Israelites because we was in slavery under the so-called white man. The white man's sperm died before it even impregnated the woman. That's why they got sperm banks in their neighborhoods. We got abortion clinics in our neighborhoods. Think about it. You better ask somebody. He impregnated every black woman that we have. You realize Most High made us maneuver than the stars of the sky and the sand of the sea? He had, look at his story, he had big bucks, those that would just have sex with our women to bring forth more children for slave labor. We just seen what it said, mixed children. Most High said, hey, they're not going to be the same as those that's full of bread. Come on, he knew that and know that to this day. That's why I say you're going to pervert the right ways of the Most High. You're going to pervert the law, such commandments of the Most High. Say we ain't under the law, but we're under mercy and grace, and we Gentiles grafted in. We can't be the Israelites. Show me, go from Deuteronomy 28:15 to 68. Break down those curses that befell the Israelites and tell me that it's not pertaining to us. And what nation does it pertain to? If thou can say. And what nation were we grafted in among? If thou can say. And now behold, the hand of the Most High is upon thee, and thou shalt be blind, not seeing the sun for a season. And immediately there fell on him a mist and a darkness, and he went about seeking some to lead him by the hand, because he couldn't see, made him blind. Sorcerer. You know, I remember somebody told me they went into a church and they seen people praying for all these pork-chop eating preachers, that they could still be successful and receive their money. You see what they're coming out now? They repenting. They repenting. Some on repenting. You know, it might be too late for you. Might not be. I can't step in the steed of the Most High. But hopefully you'll come back to reality and realize what it is that we teaching here as Hebrew Israelites is the truth of this Bible. And he deal with nations, that's the enemies and the haters of the Most High in Psalm 83rd chapter. The Most High have no respect to persons. He only have respect to the children of Israel. Exodus 2:25. So here you are teaching everybody that all you got to be is a child of the Most High. You lying to the people. They ain't going to them gates if they not of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's the kingdom. He just say the saints shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and ever and ever. Our kingdom going to be an everlasting kingdom that's going to last forever and ever and ever. Who? The Israelites. That's who the Bible's talking about. It's like, it's our diary. And you done made it be everybody because you don't want to offend somebody. Or you trying to get yourself a name in hell. And that's where you're going to end up. Well, it's a fearful thing to fall in the hands of living power for lying. Myself Shai only dealt with the children of Israel. Let's read on. Let's see. If you as a Gentile, this apply to you at all. And now, behold, the hand of the Most High is upon thee, and thou shalt be blind, not seeing the sun for a season. And immediately there fell on him a mist and a darkness, and he went about seek some to lead him by the hand. Then the deputy, when he saw what was done, believed, and being astonished at the doctrine of the Most High. Now when Paul and his company loosed from Paphos, they came to Perga and Pamphylia, and John, departing from them, returned to Jerusalem. So John went back